Good morning, traders. I'm Dennis Dick.
And I'm Joel Alconin. Welcome to Thursday's edition of Pre-Market Info.
We've got a continuation in the rally here, Joel. A 2 day rally has become a 3 day rally.
Yeah, we just took out yesterday's high, 1601 and a quarter. Current high, 1604.75. Just looking at the chart here, Dennis, what do you see between here and 1620? I mean,
That's what
it's
I see. That
obviously.
looks like the number to me.
Yeah, 1623. I mean, that's a pretty big stretch. Another 17 handles today, but that's kind of the area that we whooshed down through when Helicopter Ben was doing his trick on the market, and now we're just slowly climbing back up through there.
Speaking of slowly climbing back up, look at gold here, Joel. We got a gold rally. Wow,
Heck
gold is actually
yeah,
up today.
up $4. I mean, gee,
$4.
I better get my pan out and get out here and
Yeah,
start doing some mining here.
big money in that gold. Oh, we do. Well, every dog has its day. Today's day for gold, being the small rally that it is. Hopefully, it can sustain something though. Obviously, got to keep an eye on the low from yesterday. If that gets
Yep.
breached, I would not want to be long. But it looks like we were oversold. We're due for a little bit of a bounce, and maybe we're gonna get a little bit of a bounce here today.
Yeah, we 1221 yesterday's low, 1223.40 the low in the session. So for you gold bugs out there trying to take another stab in the dark here, you're looking at $15 here down to stop below 1220 would be prudent. Coming back on the upside, 77.50 was the high from yesterday. Man, doesn't that seem like a mile away from here?
Miles. Look at these individual stocks here too. You want to talk about what's miles away from where they just were. If you start with GG for instance, Gold Corp, that actually was down another couple of bucks yesterday. It is rallying here today, but it's rallying 25 cents. So I mean, when you put it all in perspective, here was a stock 6 trading sessions ago, was trading over $26. It's now down the 22 handle, getting a 30-cent rally, but I don't think any of these gold guys that are holding these miners are getting excited for this little bounce.
I do like I see resistance here. You had two lows just above the $23 level, 23.04, 23.12. So that's going to be major resistance. Still 40 cents away there. I mean, looking at the volume here, a whopping 300 shares are traded to get it up a quarter. So really nothing convincing here in GG Corp yet.
Look at NEM2, Newmont Mining. Maybe you can find some resistance for some of our traders too, because I know there's a few out there that are looking to initiate a short and a bounce. I mean, we've come down a long ways there, but do you see any levels if this thing starts to rally back up where you could try to pick a top?
Well, 2808 was the high in yesterday's session, so we're still 45 cents away from that. So that's your first initial point of resistance. Slightly above that, you had double bottom 2829 to 2841. So a couple levels up there in the 28 handle, but man, oh man, oh man. I mean, there's resistance all over the place in this thing.
Apple under 400
Oh,
bucks, got the close under 400 bucks. What do you think here on this chart? Obviously, it's been a rough 6 trading sessions. We've had 6 down days in a row for Apple. Is that going to be 7 days today? I know it's trading up a buck and a half here in the pre-market with the overall, but I don't like that it closed under 400 there yesterday.
well, I took out the two lows that you had in the 398 handle, went down 395.66. Got to get back in the 400s here to look for any kind of rally. Trading up a little bit in the pre-market, a buck 50 at 399.60. Let's take a quick look. That is the high of the move so far in the morning session. On the daily here, I mean, can you believe we're so close to the actual lows of the
Yep,
moon this thing and
yep,
it spoos it back over 1600?
yep.
A couple trading points on the downside, 92.50 was the low on April 24th, and then you had a low at 91.27, but just seems to be inching down there. It's not like the whoosh, like it had in the last few times.
And Google up $5 or $4 now here in the pre-market, so getting a little bit of a lift. It's been a rough few trading sessions for Google too, although Google has found some support down here. This
Very
whole
good support.
863, 864 area, and we have bounced out of there now. Where do you think this stock needs to get for the bulls to take charge again?
I think back over 880. You had a high on Tuesday at 879.68. Only got to 878 yesterday. I said, you think you get back above that 880 level, you might get some shorts scrambling for cover here. Because really, be looking between 880 and 900. There's not a lot in there. But the tech's just kind of been sleepy. I mean, I look at the IBM from yesterday. Closed, 30 cents off the low of the day. It is trading up 64 cents in the pre-market, but comparative to the rip-roaring 50-point rally we've had in the S&P, a couple of these big techs have been on the sidelines.
Yeah, it's really been led by the financials. That's been the big bounce here. If you take a look at JP Morgan, for instance, got down to almost 50 bucks 3 trading sessions ago, is now trading at 52.80. So here's a stock that's got back over half of its losses from the last month in 3 trading sessions here. If JP Morgan continues to rally, I love the 54 area. I don't think you're going to get it that high, though. Obviously, you're going to say I'd contend with 53 probably before 54.
Yeah, exactly. 52.80 got up to yesterday. Had a 52.98 high on Friday and 53.18 high on the 20th. So yeah, there is real good resistance here at 53. Getting a little bit of a running start into it, with the 53.50 close and trading up 30 cents in the pre-market. Let's just check real quickly. That high in the pre-market so far has been 52.82.
Couple stocks reporting earnings here. Conagra just reported this morning. CAG. They report earnings of 60 cents versus 59. They missed on the top line just slightly, 4.59 billion versus 4.61 billion. They do see 2014 earnings up at $2.40. Stock is lifting here in the pre-market, trading up at 34.10 right now after closing at 33.35. CAG.
Oh, I got yeah. Oh, I'm saying, wow, that is
CH. Yeah, CAG. You hit the wrong ticker symbol there.
Got to do that at least once a broadcast, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big move for Conagra, huh? Trading up that much in the pre-market. It was even higher. 34.61 was the high.
Interesting, that 34.61 number that you just cited, right in line with 2 highs that we had back on the 18th and the 17th at 34.67 and 34.64. So obviously those people that were selling there, looks like they were selling possibly in the pre-market here too, because that's where the stock got to, found resistance and fell off that level once again.
Yeah, that's one where the pre-market charts are kind of helping you out to identify some resistance. Falling back 50 cents off that level, so more significance there. Keep a close eye at that 34.60 level.
Winnebago, WGO, obviously some people are still affording to put gas in these things because the sales were way up. They actually met on the bottom line, 27 cents versus 27 cents, but the revenue came in 20 million more than expected, 218 million versus 198 million, and that is lifting Winnebago big time. WGO here in the pre-market. It's trading up $1 right now, 21.96 after closing at 20.96.
Yeah, I want to rent one of these things, but I'm such a crazy driver in a regular car. Lisa just absolutely will not let me rent one of these things to go up north or something. But I think it'd be fun, tow a car behind it, run some people off the road. 22.20 is what we hit in the pre-market.
There's another look at that again. If you go back actually to March and April, we had a couple highs right in that whole 22.20 area there. Again, 22.34. 22.21, so that pre-market high of 22.20 running right into that March resistance.
Right, so let's keep an eye on that. The stock has had a nice recovery here this year, coming up from the $14 level. The monthlies is the same picture, so let's keep an eye on that 22.40 level.
Triple BY. Joel always messes the ticker symbol up on this one, but Bed Bath and Beyond. You're going to get it right today? Triple BY. Yep. Bed Bath & Beyond down 75 cents here. They reported earnings last night, missed by a penny, 92 versus 93. Revenue beat just slightly, but not good enough. Stock is trading down here in the pre-market, 75 cents.
Yeah, that's a store like you get in and you just can't get out, you know?
I know,
They
yeah.
make you walk
The
around, so
maze.
eventually you have to buy something.
Yeah.
Looking at yesterday's range, 69.15 was the low. Looking at the pre-market activity, we on the initial spike we got down to 68.67, but now we're just hovering around yesterday's low, 69 and a quarter. So I'd look to see if that level to hold. If not, I think we can sneak under 69. 68.60 was the low on Tuesday.
Still waiting on those KB Homes earnings. Maybe somebody from the Benzinga team can jump in if they do break or if they've broken the last minute or two. But haven't seen, like KBH we're waiting on. Let's move on to the upgrades and downgrades in the meantime. You've got BMO Capital here, actually upgrading a couple telecoms and downgrading a couple Canadian telecoms. So they are downgrading TELUS, which is TU. They are downgrading RCI, which is Rogers Communications. And they are upgrading BCE. And they are upgrading SJR, which is Shaw Communications. So they're upgrading to the Canadian telecoms, downgrading to the Canadian telecoms. Any interesting charts in there, Joel?
What were the two
The
downgrades?
two downgrades were TELUS, which is TU, and the other
Oh,
downgrade was RCI, which is Rogers. And both of these stocks, I don't know what happened with
yeah,
Rogers, but man, it really got killed there yesterday. Actually, I don't follow the telecom sector in Canada too closely, but that was a big down move for Rogers yesterday.
right. Looking at, I mean, these are ugly charts. I mean, I wish
Real
they would have
ugly.
downgraded it when it was at like 44 or something, but we're already through yesterday's low, which was 39.38 in the pre-market. So you can use that 39.38 as resistance. Spotty trades at the $39 level. Looking at longer term here, 40 was the number to hold. Now you're in a kind of an ugly area here between 40 and 38. Looking at the other one, TU, Telus. Whoa, man, what's going on over there in Canada,
You know
Dennis?
what? That's a yield sell-off thing too. Like a lot of those things, those telecoms have 4, 5, 6% dividends, and obviously we know they've been beating stuff like that up over the last with interest rate concerns in the short term. These were basically areas where people were going for defense. They were going for yield. Well, if they're only yielding 3 or 4%, these stocks, and that's the reason you're in it, and you're worried that short-term interest rates are going to come up, it's going to whack stuff like this, just like it whacked this REIT sector over here. So they trade somewhat like that, and that's why I think you've seen that sell-off in all of these stocks here in the last week or two.
And but then there's pretty good yields on like the Bell Canada here too, and they're coming out with an upgrade. With the Bell Canada 38.72 was yesterday's low. You're getting a little, but that thing had a big range yesterday. Does that always have that big
Man,
of
there
a
must have been
range?
some news in the Canadian telecoms yesterday. If any of our listeners know, they can pop it out there too. I just don't follow the
Oh,
Canadian telecom sector close enough to know what the news was yesterday, but that's big moves for both all these stocks. These are lower
yeah.
beta issues. I don't know, maybe it was the washout on a lot of these things yesterday. Obviously not in RCI, it's making new lows with the downgrade, but big moves and volatility there for probably traders that normally trade that stuff. There's not a lot of volatility in it, but there is right now. Moving on to earnings tonight, you've got Nike going to report earnings tonight, and ACN also, which is Accenture, going to report earnings. But let's start with Nike here because it had a good run up yesterday. It is lifting a bit here again in the pre-market this morning, up 40 cents. So it looks like it's going to get a little pre-earnings run here.
62 and a quarter has been high in the pre-market. That looks running in right into a couple numbers here. 62 and a quarter, 62.34 highs on June 18th and June 19th. So if people are looking to lighten up ahead of earnings here, taking a good look at the 62.30 level. 3 point move off the 59 and change low that it had on Friday. So nice move going into earnings here, but we'll keep an eye on the 62.35 level.
Accenture ACN will report earnings here tonight too. That stock has not had the run up that Nike did. It's actually found some decent support and just been hanging out above it though. Had a double bottom from looking back at the 21st and 22nd, 78.78 and 78.85. We've now had two sessions where we're slowly trying to climb up. Despite having lower closes on both of those days, it is trending up. I'd like to see it get above yesterday's high of 80.48 though, but obviously fundamentals will dictate where the stock is heading after the bell.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a little bit of a consolidation here ahead of earnings. You're right, that 80.48 level, big resistance, almost a buck away from there. You get above that area, then not much resistance here. Another high at 81.51, but just have to see what happens with the earnings.
And we are running up here on the overall market. We are up over 10 points now here, Joel. Since we started the show, we've run another $2 or $3 here. You were talking this market could move up into the 620 area. I don't know if it gets there today, but it has got some momentum right now going.
Yeah, I mean, when you come whooshing down through an area, like you did, that 1620 to 1600, you get similar moves on the way up, and no one seems to be out here willing to sell this market. 1606 and a quarter, been the high in the pre-market. Kind of in these sessions, you kind of like to see where the dust settles, right before the 9:30 open, see if you get a continuation move.
That's our show for today, guys. Have a great trading day, and we will be back at you tomorrow morning.